There is a certain kind of man who can sit in a quiet room and feel nothing but okay. No phone, no podcast, no plan for the next hour. Just a window, maybe some light, maybe the sound of something distant. And he is fine. He is better than fine. People around him don't know what to make of this. His partner asks if something is wrong. His friends assume he must be depressed. His co-workers wonder if he's given up on something. Because in a world that treats busyness like a virtue and stillness like a failure, a man who genuinely enjoys doing nothing looks from the outside like a man who is broken. He is not broken. He is operating at a frequency most people have never been allowed to reach. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what is happening inside that stillness and why the men who have found it are not behind. They arrived somewhere the rest of the world is still running toward. This usually starts in a specific kind of childhood, not always a dramatic one. Sometimes it's a home that was loud in invisible ways, expectations that hummed under every conversation, a constant low-level pressure to be productive, useful, impressive, or a home where a child learned early that being busy meant being valuable. Picture a boy who finishes his homework and then just sits by the window. His parent walks in and immediately says, "What are you doing? Find something useful to do." That boy learns that stillness is wrong, that rest requires justification, that peace must be earned. His nervous system gets the message. It starts to treat doing nothing as a threat. The body learns to fill silence with movement, noise, distraction, not because those things feel good, but because emptiness started to feel dangerous. Stephen Porges, the neurobiologist behind polyvagal theory, described exactly this. When the nervous system has spent years in low-grade activation, stillness doesn't feel like rest. It feels like threat. The body has to relearn how to be okay when nothing is happening. The men who have found peace in doing nothing have done that relearning, consciously or not. Their nervous system has recalibrated. And that is not laziness. That relearning is quiet. It leaves no scar you can show anyone. But it is the work. The first sign is that silence doesn't make him reach for his phone. Most people cannot sit in a waiting room, a car, a quiet moment between tasks without immediately filling it with a screen. You know this about yourself. Your hand moves before your brain decides anything. The phone is already in your palm. Not him. He can sit in that same silence and let it be. Not because he's disciplined, not because he's decided to be present as some kind of performance, but because somewhere along the way, silence stopped being a problem to solve. Developmental psychologist Esther Buchholz showed that the ability to be alone, truly alone without filling the space, is a marker of psychological maturity, not withdrawal. The cost of never developing this capacity is exhaustion, a nervous system permanently on call, and it connects to something even harder to name. The second sign is that he doesn't need an excuse to rest. You have probably felt this, the guilt of sitting down in the afternoon, the mental math of whether you've earned the right to stop. I'll rest after I finish this. I'll relax when things calm down. Rest becomes a reward for suffering, not a natural part of being human. He doesn't do that math. He rests when he's tired. He stops when the day is done, not because he doesn't care about his work or his responsibilities, but because his sense of worth is not attached to his output. Psychologist Lindsay Gibson wrote about this in the context of emotionally immature families. Children who were only valued for their performance learn to measure their right to exist in what they accomplish. Unlearning that is the work of years. The man who sits quietly without guilt has done that work. The third sign is that he's comfortable with an unfinished to-do list. There is always more to do. Always. The inbox will never reach zero. The project will always have one more step. If your nervous system can only tolerate stillness once everything is complete, you will never rest, ever. He has accepted that the list doesn't end, so he puts it down. Not because he's given up, but because he understands the difference between a task that needs doing and a task that needs doing right now. Daniel Siegel describes the window of tolerance, the zone in which the nervous system can function without tipping into hyperarousal. A man who cannot stop until everything is done has a window of tolerance that doesn't include peace. He has found a way to widen his. The fourth sign is that he can be bored without spiraling. Boredom, for most people, is a panic trigger. Within seconds of having nothing to do, the brain starts generating problems. Something must be wrong. You should be doing something. Are you wasting your life? He can feel bored and just let it pass, like a weather event. Boredom arrives, moves through, and leaves. He doesn't treat it as evidence of something broken in his life or in himself. Neuroscientist Mary Helen Imordino-Yang found that the default mode network, the part of the brain active during rest and open awareness, is actually doing deep integration work during these moments, building self-understanding. Processing experience. The man staring at nothing is not empty. He is processing. The fifth sign is that he doesn't perform relaxation. You know what performed relaxation looks like. The vacation that gets documented for everyone to see. Every photo, time-stamped, filtered, posted before the moment is even over. The meditation streak announced online. None of that is wrong, but it's not rest. It's rest as content. He doesn't need an audience for his stillness. He's not relaxing to show someone he knows how. He's not resting so he can be more productive tomorrow, though that happens. He's resting because right now, this is where he is, and this is enough. Pete Walker, in his work on complex trauma recovery, describes this as earned security, a felt sense that the present moment is safe without needing to perform that safety for anyone. The sixth sign is that he doesn't apologize for his pace. This is the one that costs the most, because the world will read his pace as a flaw. His stillness will be called laziness. His quiet will be called checked out. His comfort with doing nothing will be called giving up. He knows this, and he doesn't explain himself. Not because he doesn't care what people think, but because he has stopped mistaking their urgency for truth. The chronic baseline activation that drives most people, that low hum of not enough, not yet, not done, is not a standard he chose to accept. And no one else's panic is evidence that he's wrong. Stop for a second. What you've just heard, the silence, the rest, the unfinished list, the boredom, the pace, none of it is indifference. None of it is giving up. It is what a nervous system looks like when it has stopped confusing constant movement with meaning. These men are not behind. They are not checked out. They have arrived at something most people are still running toward without knowing what it's called. When you put all of this together, something becomes clear. You find peace in doing nothing because you stopped letting the world's urgency define your worth. Because you learned, maybe slowly, maybe painfully, that rest doesn't need to be earned. That silence is not a sign that something is wrong. That a quiet afternoon is not a wasted one. You are not lazy. You are not indifferent. You are not behind. You are a person who figured out something most people never do. That being still is not the absence of living. It is one of the most honest forms of it. You are allowed to sit in a quiet room and feel okay. You are allowed to let the list wait. You are allowed to be done for the day without finishing everything. Drop a comment and tell me this. When was the last time you did nothing? No phone, no plan, no purpose, and actually felt fine? Not guilty, not restless, just fine. I want to know if that's something you found or something you're still looking for. This is what it looks like when a nervous system finally stops running from peace.